Hey all you super players out there, Ben Lodice aka 5 Buck Lunch, coming at you with a new deck profile today. We're going over Dr. Lychee and Hatchhyack. So for those of you that don't know, this is a very unique leader. It has some abilities that don't really exist anywhere else in the game, and it has some cool mechanics that go with it too. So to start off with the leader, you can only play black battle cards, and on the front side it can attack. When a battle card attacks, the player who attacked can't attack with tokens or battle cards energy costs of 7 or less other than the card they attacked with for the duration of the turn. So what that means is basically you can only attack with one battle card a turn that isn't 8 cost or higher. If the battle card has dual attack or you have a way to stand up the card, then it can attack again. So the same card can keep attacking, but other than that, you only get one battle card attack per turn. Active main once per turn, place the top card of your deck under this card, then place the top card of your deck in your drop area and draw one card. Awaken, if you have only black cards in your energy, choose 3 cards under this card and place them in their owner's drop area. You may draw one card and flip this card over. So, unlike most other leaders whose awakening mechanics have to deal with how much life you're at, Hatchhyack always awakens on turn 3 because once per turn you just put the top card under him, put a card in the discard, draw a card, and then once you get 3 cards underneath him, you can awaken him. Because of this, we're actually going to want to defend ourselves a lot more early in the game because our life has nothing to do with us awakening. So if we can awaken at 7 or 8, it's just an advantage for us. On the flip side, when a battle card attacks, so it has the same defensive ability where you can attack with multiple battle cards. And then when this card attacks, it gains 5k power for the duration of the turn, and you draw a card. So real simple, on this side, he's just a powerful attacker, which is going to make your opponent burn cards. This deck has a lot of things that force your opponent to lose card advantage very slowly, and then combining with that ability, it causes your opponent to not be able to attack you very often either. So we're going to have one of each Kami and Dende. The Kami has the ability of draw a card when it comes into play, and then you can active main, pay 2. If one has 4 or more battle cards in play, choose all battle cards with entries cost 4 or less, ignoring barrier, and KO them. Uh, so the reason we're only playing one of each of these cards, by the way, is that we are using both Power Burst and Shenron to get them back if we need them. Otherwise, it's just giving us access to a lot of different abilities in kind of our toolbox. The Dende, for those of you that don't know, has active main for 2, placed in your drop area. If your opponent placed a card in the energy using a skill during the game, choose one of your opponent's energy and place it in the drop area. So this allows us to combat ramp. One of the things the deck has a problem with is the 8-drop Android 21, since obviously we aren't playing any multicolor energy. So we have a card for going wide, a card for ramp. We have ways to recur it and get it back. For Power Burst, this is our negate. It's a sparking negate, which is good because we have a lot of ways to get cards to our discard pile. And it lets us grab back Dende, Kami, or the Supreme Kai of Time Regulator, which we are playing 4 of. This card is a 1-drop with no combo power. It's a 3k blocker, and when you play it, you draw a card. The reason this is so good is a lot of times on turn 1, we're going to want to play this or Dark Planet because we can basically just throw these away early. All we're trying to do is get to turn 3 and awaken at high health so that it's very hard for us to actually lose the game. So in the first couple of turns, you're going to be playing these Supreme Kais and then immediately just blocking with them so that your opponent can't get any attacks in while you're still 10k. 2 Super Kamehameha. This is a black counterplay for 1. If your leader card is black and your life is 4 or less, the battle card being played, your energy is cost of 3 or less, it is sent to its owner's warp instead of being played, and then you can spend a life instead of an energy to play it if you'd like. The reason we're playing this is to stop counterplays and things like Topo for our big later game turns. For the Dark Planet, this is kind of our engine card of the deck. When this card is played in the battle area, choose 1 Ghost Warrior card from your deck, add it to your hand. So the Ghost Warriors are Lychee, and then our middle cards, Slug, Turtles, and Frieza, are all Ghost Warriors. More importantly, though, if your leader card is a Black Machine Mutant, which we are, at the end of your turn, place 2 cards in the top of your deck in your drop area. So you'll see later that the Ghost Warrior effect shuffles cards from your discard pile back into your deck in order to play themselves for free. And in order to get those cards in the discard pile, we need a way to mill, and Dark Planet is that card. For Temporal Rescue Trunks, this is going to be kind of a trade-off whether you want to play this or a regular super combo. The ability Sparking 5 is very useful because a lot of times you're going to be wanting to play your super combos and not be at 4 life yet. 3 Dr. Lychee, the Disparted Spirit. 3 cost, 5k combo, blocker. This is one of the Ghost Warriors we can search. When you play this card, place 2 cards from the top of your deck, your drop area. And active main for 2, if your leader card is a Black Machine Mutant, play this card from your drop area. So it's only costs 2 to play from our drop, and when we play it, it mills 2. So this is another way to put up some blockers for our quick defense, and to get more cards in the discard pile for our Ghost Warriors. 1 Mercenary Tau, Ruthless Trainer. 2 cost, 5k combo, Barrier. If your opponent's leader card is green or yellow, reduce this card by 1, so it becomes a 1 cost. Auto once per turn, when a card in your hand is placed in the drop area by opponent's skill, your opponent chooses 3 cards and sends them to the warp. We're playing one of these, again, as kind of a toolbox mechanic. It's going to stop our opponent from playing Topo on us, or we can play it after they play Topo, and it forces them to lose a bunch of cards. It can also be useful in random other circumstances, but the big thing this is in is to counteract Topo plays. 2 Turtles, the Unstoppable Ghost Warrior. This is the first Ghost Warrior playing. He has dual attack. Active main, choose 2 black battle cards in your drop area, enters cost between 3 and 7. Place them at the bottom of your deck in any order, play this card from your hand. Choose 1 card in your hand, place it in your drop area. This card gets 5k power and for the duration of the turn. So one of the reasons we're playing this guy is because he allows us to use this Shenron that we're playing, which can give him triple strike. So it gives us a dual attack triple striker. This deck has a lot of dual attack, but not a lot of double and triple strike. So that's how we're kind of counteracting that. Also, the Ghost Warriors in general have kind of mediocre effects, but you need them in order to shuffle back, and you get to play them for free, which is pretty good. That whole active main, choose black battle cards between 3 and 7 and put them on the bottom of the deck. All the Ghost Warriors have that effect. Speaking of, the next one is Lord Slug Ghost Warrior. If your leader card is black, you can do the 3 black battle cards to put them in play for free. Active main, place this card in its owner's drop area, choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards, enters its cost greater than or equal to your opponent's energy, and send it to its owner's warp. This is great against things that are cheating stuff into play, like especially like baby decks. You can use this to get rid of the 6-drop baby pretty easily. Depending on what your local meta is, you might want to play more than one of these. A lot of the numbers in this deck kind of are going to go up and down depending on what you're going to be playing against. 2 Frieza Ghost Warrior. Same effect where you can put it in play for free by choosing 3 black battle cards, enters cost between 3 and 7, and putting them on the bottom of your deck. And then active main, place this card in its owner's drop area, choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, switch it to rust mode. So you can really use this for to counteract blockers is the big thing. Also, you have a lot of big dual attackers, so you can tap something in order to attack it as well, but mostly you're going to want to use it for getting around blockers and things of that sort. 3 Hatchhyack, Overwhelming Power. So this goes into the Hatchhyack engine. 4 drop, 0 cost, 5k, 15k combo. If your leader card is a Black Machine Mutant, you could choose 3 black battle cards, that just cost 3 of 7, and put them on the bottom of your deck. So we can put them in play for free, and then active main for 4. If your leader card is a Black Machine Mutant, choose 1 Hatchhyack Fueled by Hatred in your drop area, place it on top of this card. So for 4, we put it in play for free, and then for 4, we can put this Hatchhyack in play from our drop area over the top of it. 5 cost, 1k for 1, 25k power, dual attack. Permanent, if your leader card is a Black Machine Mutant card, increase the cost of the energy card by 3. So the reason that this is so important is it allows it to be at 8 cost, which means it's not affected by our skill that says we can only attack with 1 battle card every turn. So you can attack with this and then attack with a battle card. Place this card in its owner's drop area. When your opponent's battle card attacks, negate that attack. One thing to note is this is optional, even though it reads very weirdly. Because place this card in your owner's drop area as a cost, you can choose not to pay the cost, and then the effect doesn't go off. Activate main. Once per turn, choose 3 black battle cards, enter cost between 3 and 7 in your drop area. Place them at the bottom of your deck in any order. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, send it to its owner's warp. So he can also kill anything, which is really nice. He warps it too, so it doesn't go to their discard pile. And the cost is pretty light. So basically on turn 4, most of the time, we're going to be making a Hatchhyack play, putting our other Hatchhyack in play and then playing this guy from our drop area. For SS3 Tag Team Son Gohan, this card is pretty important because it allows your stuff to be much more protected. It's a blocker. Only one of them can be played in a battle area at a time. When a black paddle card is removed from your battle area by a skill, you can play this card from your hand for free. So basically what we do is we use either when our active mains of our Ghost Warriors go away or when Hatchhyack negates an attack, we can put this blocker in play for free, and it's just a free blocker. 3 Shenron Figure of Majesty. 4 cost, 0 cost, 5k combo, 20k power, but it can't attack. Active main once per turn, sparking 5. Draw 1 card and choose 1. So we get to draw a card and do one of these 3 things. Choose up to 2 of your energy and switch them to active mode. Choose 1 battle card, energy cost of 2 or less in your drop area and play it. And that is where our utility comes in with Kami, Dende, our blocker Kai of Time, our Mercenary Tau. So we have a lot of cards that hose certain decks, and we can bring them all back with Shenron. Choose your leader card or one of your battle cards. It gets plus 5k power and critical for the duration of the turn. That one's kind of nice. Giving your dual attackers critical can be very good. Most of the time, though, we're going to be either untapping energy or putting in play our battle cards. 1, Shenron the Wish Granter. This is a 5 cost, 1k for 1. Also can't attack. Sparking 7. When you play this card, draw 2 cards and choose 1. Choose up to 4 of your energy and switch them to active mode. Choose 1 battle card, energy cost of 3 or less for your drop area and play it. Choose 1 of your leader cards or battle cards. It gets 15k power and triple strike for the duration of the turn. So there's a lot of things we can do with this card. We can either use it to just draw 2 cards for 1, essentially, which isn't terrible. We can use it to put in play a 3 or lower, although we won't be using that very much in this deck. Mostly we're going to be using it for the third effect, where we choose one of our dual attack battle cards, either Turtles or Hatchhyack, or if somehow we have enough energy, this is unlikely, we could play it with Fu, but that's probably not going to happen. And it gains triple strike, which is very good. So we get a dual attack triple striker, which is very strong. 3 Hatchhyack, Hatred Everlasting. 5 cost, auto once per turn. If this card attacks a battle card, switch it to active mode. So we can attack a battle card and then the leader card, or attack 2 battle cards, which once again gets around our whole 1 attack per turn. Active main, if your leader card is black, you can place this card from your hand in your drop area. Place the top 2 cards of your deck in your drop area. So if you want to, you can just discard this card to mill 2, which you shouldn't be doing too much because it's negative card advantage, but it definitely is nice to have that option if we're like 1 off of having enough to like go for a Hatchhyack play or something like that. Also, active main for 3. Choose 3 black battle cards in your drop area, energy cost between 3 and 7, and place them at the bottom of your deck in any order. Then play this card from your drop area. So we can also play this card for 3. So it's a big guy we can play for relatively cheap cost. It's very good with the Frieza because you can tap a battle card, and now you can swing into it with Hatred Everlasting. Just a very solid card all around. I already went over Fueled by Hatred. Now we'll go over some of the big, huge win conditions. One thing to note is both these cards are higher than 8, so neither of them are affected by our leader skill. Fu the Dark Banisher will be your most common win condition. It's an 8 cost, 1k for 1, triple attack. Overwhelm 8 for 4. Your opponent can't activate a skill unless they choose 1 card in their hand and send it to their warp. So we've got 25k triple attack that also, whenever your opponent activates a skill, they have to warp a card from their hand. So this turn, they're going to be losing at least 4 or 5 cards to that skill just because of all your attacks. And if you still happen to have like a Hatchhyack or a Shenron on the board, it gets way more dangerous because now you've got a critical triple attacker coming at you, so they have to protect, or you've got even more attacks coming through. And we can also use some of our things like Turtles and our other Ghost Warriors to play free battle cards on the turn we play this to get even more attacks in. Just a very solid card, very solid win condition, and if it doesn't kill them, a lot of times it completely cripples them. And then for our secret rare, we're playing Beyond Darkness Demigra. This card's just always been very good and fits in this deck very well because it's very easy to get to the 5 energy that you need for it. He's a 10 cost, technically ultimate, overwhelm 7 for 5. Triple strike, when this card attacks, your opponent reveals their hand, choose 4 battle cards from it, and combo with them in your combo area. So essentially you get to rip 4 battle cards out of their hand when you play this card. So how does this deck function? So basically on turn one, you're going to be wanting to play either a Dark Planet optimally. You're going to mostly be hard mulliganing a lot for the Dark Planet because you want this to kind of start your engine up early and get all of your cards in your discard pile. Or you're going to play a Supreme Kai of Time the Regulator just so you can protect yourself. Uh, then on turn two, you're going to be playing Lychee or more one drops and just kind of start milling cards and start getting going. Um, One thing I said before that I want to impress on people is that, unlike most other leaders, it's perfectly acceptable to defend yourself from the first couple attacks because later you're going to be getting a lot more advantage out of him if you can awaken at like 6 life or 7 life. Other cool things this deck can do that other decks can't really is the whole like stall for big guys. Since your opponent can't do much of anything in terms of swarming you because of your leader skill, it's very safe and you get to play for the long game. Now, some of the downsides of this deck, though, is this is a very narrow playstyle. You do have a decent amount of toolbox, but all your toolbox is really defensively. Uh, so you have things you can do to defend yourself in a bunch of different ways, but in terms of attacking, you have Hatchhyack, you have Fu, and you have Demigra. And that's pretty much it. So the way I built it is you also have Turtles as a kind of more aggressive card, which helps a little bit. But if your opponent has a lot of ways to play around your stuff, then uh, it can be kind of hard. Another thing to point out is you got to watch out for the 8-drop Android 21 because you are playing mono black. Android 21 will get rid of all of your energy if it gets played, which is obviously a problem. This deck is another thing to note too is since your big finishers are overwhelms, you should kind of try and gauge because you're going to be putting cards back, and you want towards the end of the game most of your deck should be these higher power cards, and you want to make sure you're putting them back before you overwhelm. Because if you don't and you overwhelm all these cards, your deck isn't going to be very good after you overwhelm, and you won't be able to put stuff back anymore. So yeah, this deck is pretty fun. If you like a more heavy control style deck, this deck is really good for you. Um, if you take out these Tag Team Son Gohans, which are very good and you should definitely be playing if you have them, but if you take them out, the deck is actually very affordable too. Since it's mono black, you don't have to deal with a lot of the expensive cards. These Foos are like $5 a piece, but that's not too bad. Um, you do kind of need the Demigra. It helps a lot. In theory, you could put another Fu in its place, but I think it's way more powerful than Fu. So, and it's a great follow-up card to Fu too. Yeah. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Please like, subscribe. If you want to hit me up, my Patreon's down in the description. And go out there, play some Super, and have some fun.